What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Movie Boy Mike, and this is Salem's Lot Ending Explained. I hope you guys enjoyed the movie as much as I did. I'm a little biased because I was in the movie. If you stick around till the end of this video, I'm going to be explaining the ending along with reviewing the movie, and last but not least, comparing it to the book. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button if you like what you see. And if you haven't already, go watch the movie because there are spoilers ahead. But if you have seen the movie, stick around and let's get into the ending.
Movie boy Mike, let me in. Come on, Mike.
So just like the book, the story follows Ben Mears, played by Lewis Pullman, who, by the way, did an amazing job as Ben. Like I've been saying from the beginning, Ben moves back to Salem's Lot to write a book, but never actually says in the movie why he's writing the book. But as we know from the novel, Ben is there to write about the Marston house. He then meets Susan. Now in the movie, Susan's father died a year ago, but in the book, Susan's father was alive and well, but for whatever reason they decided to cut Susan's father out of the movie. And then we meet Mark. I have to say, this kid did an amazing job playing Mark throughout the film. Really have to hand it to him. I love this beginning scene when Mark beats up that bully. This scene was in the book, and it perfectly tied in introducing Matt, who plays a very vital role in the story, as we all know. One thing I will say about this new adaptation of Salem's Lot, we have a very short amount of time to introduce each of the characters. And then there was the scene that I was in, the drive-in movie theater scene. Now this is kind of where the movie starts to differ from the book. We have absolutely no mention of Ben's childhood trauma at the Marston house. In the books, he had a traumatic experience as a kid when he went into the Marston house and saw a dead body hanging from a noose. For whatever reason, they decided not to mention this traumatic experience that Ben had. I felt like it was a very vital part of the story to mention. With that said, in the book, Ben moves to Salem's Lot because his parents die. In the movie, he leaves Salem's Lot because his parents die. Tiny thing they switched, but I feel like it makes a huge difference. I also noticed the editing style in this movie is very similar to It Chapter 1 and 2. You can just tell by the color themes and the similar soundtracks that this is definitely a Gary Dauberman movie. Another thing they changed was Jimmy, the doctor, and his role in the film. In the movie, they give Dr. Cody a much larger role. But in the books and in the other adaptations, it was Jimmy that followed Ben and Mark all the way to the end. But in the movie, it was Dr. Cody. Another big thing that they changed in this movie was Matt and Matt's death. I really loved how Barlow looked in this adaptation. He looked identical to the 1970s adaptation, keeping it original and improved. There were times where Barlow was just really scary. Honestly, Raph's death was really scary in the movie. The way that he was kidnapped by Stryker, thrown in a bag, and then eaten by Barlow as a sacrifice, it was terrifying. Not to mention Danny's death was terrifying as well. The way he was shaking around his coffin, and really well done. I have to admit, the kids that they casted in this movie did a phenomenal job. And that brings us to the ending. Fun fact about this final fight scene, people I worked with on the set told me that they were actually on fire during these final fight scenes. Like, you gotta hand it to these stunt doubles. The movie ends with Mark and Ben leaving Salem's Lot, and Ben is positive that they killed all the vampires. But those of you who read the book know that that's not quite how it ends. In the book, the two of them go to live in Mexico for a little while, and then, a year later, they decide to go back to Salem's Lot and kill the remaining vampires. Because they know that even though Barlow is dead, there's still other vampires that pose a threat. Was this version of the film better than what they showed the test audience during post-production? What I personally think of the film, like I said, I enjoyed the film. Part of it is because it's just a good memory, knowing that it was the first movie I was ever in. There's some things I wish they had done differently in this movie. Like, I wish they had explored the story of Ben's wife and the trauma that he had as a kid in the Marston house. I really wish they had explored those parts of the books. We should have gotten a mini-series or at least a much longer cut, considering how long they took to actually make this movie. And considering the fact that it wasn't even going to theaters and it was going straight to streaming, they could have at least made this movie a little bit longer in length that would have explored these characters a little bit more. But I enjoyed the movie. Like anything, I think it could have been better, but I still think that they developed a good cut. Did they meet fan expectations? I'm gonna say more or less. I'm curious what you guys think. Do you guys think that all the changes and all the prep that they did for this movie was worth it? Let me know in the comments section. I'm very curious what you guys think. Write me a comment and I'll get back to you. This has been Salem's Lot Ending Explained. I hope you guys enjoyed, and please, on your way out, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button for more. I'll catch you next time. Thank you.
Oh boy, I think that was